So today we're going to react to a content creator. He said something very interesting about marriage. Whilst I'm not married, I'm in the process of learning things on how to be in a stable marriage, and I'm in a relationship and stuff like that. And I think this advice that he's given is problematic, but let's discuss it further. Let's see what he has to say.
You're going to meet better people than your spouse. You are going to meet more intelligent people, more good-looking people, kinder people, more romantic people. You're going to meet people who have in abundance what your partner lacks. The mushy and romanticized idea that your partner will have everything that you want and they'll be everything to you is not true, is a lie. In fact, if you look around during your wedding, I'm sure that some of the guests might be more good-looking than your partner. It's just the truth. And that is why marriage is not about finding a partner who's the best. Because in your journey of life, you will meet another best that's better than your partner's best. There is always a best that tops the best that you think you know. So marriage is really about contentment. It's about not having everything, but seeing everything in what you have. It's about waking up every day and choosing to be committed to see the beauty of who you've chosen in your life. It's about appreciating the little things about the person you've chosen. It's about choosing this person and deciding that this is enough for me. You are enough for me. I will always stick with you. And even though I see someone who might be seemingly better than you, I don't want to experience any better if it's not you. So marriage is really about commitment. Trust me. And this is why some people cheat, because they don't have the maturity to accept and understand what I'm saying. So when they meet someone who's more good looking, more intelligent, who is more everything that they chose their partner for, they begin to struggle with cognitive dissonance. Like, why will I meet someone who is nicer than my wife? Why will I meet someone who's more good looking than my wife? It's not fair. Yes, you're going to meet people who are better than your spouse, because marriage is not about having who's better than another person. Marriage is about finding one person who you've decided to do life with, come what may. Yes, you're going to marry a very intelligent person, a good looking person, a funny person, a romantic person, a great person, but there will always be somebody better than that person. But you're not looking for better. You're looking for just that person that you've chosen. That way, when you meet people who are better than your partner, is a fact that you've already accepted, and that does not sway you, because your commitment is not rooted in how much they can perform for you, but in your decision to stick with them. If marriage was about finding the best person, then of what need is commitment? Because commitment means the decision to stick to that person even when you don't feel like. Of what need is commitment when we can always find somebody who's better every day, every month, every year? So contentment in marriage is a character and a virtue that people don't talk about. Anything I don't find in my spouse, in my wife, I don't want. Any beauty that my wife does not have, I don't want. Any intelligence that my wife does not have will not attract me. Simple. I have chosen to do life with you, come what may. Now, that is marriage.
So to put forward, I know what he's ultimately trying to say. He's ultimately trying to say that marriage is about commitment. You know, your partner's going to have flaws and X, Y, and Z. However, you're there for the long run and you have decided to be with that person for life. Therefore, you cannot approach marriage or relationships with the mindset of this selfish mindset that, oh, I'm looking for a perfect person and X, Y, and Z and this, that, and the third. Because reality of the case may be no one in this life is perfect. But, however, where he has lost me is the idea that you will find better than your partner, you know, outside when you go to work or whatever it is. You might find someone more beautiful than your partner, more intelligent, more X, Y, and Z, more this, that, and the third. Heck, he even went as far to say that in your wedding day, you will see individuals that are better than your partner. And for me, if you're in the mindset that there's someone better than your partner out there, whether you like it or not, whether you think that's calm to accept or not, naturally in your head, you are going to look down on your partner and not really appreciate the full greatness that's in front of you. This is actually a biblical thing in the sense that if you look at someone with lustful eyes and things of that nature, you have committed sin in your head because you are fantasizing about that person and X, Y, and Z. Whilst he's not saying that you will fantasize about other people, when you let someone walk an inch, it leads to a mile. And from the moment you start to accept that there's people out there better than your spouse, and you accept that there's people more beautiful than your spouse, more intelligent than your spouse, X, Y, Z, that's always going to lead to you thinking about them in a more, dramatic way than you're meant to. And that's going to lead into problems.
I've seen this lead to various problems such as cheating, whether that be physically or emotionally, as it started from the mind, or degrading your partner, or emotionally neglecting them, or not appreciating them, or having kind of a disdain because in your head, naturally, because you know that there's better out there, you start to compare them and put them down in your head. Entertaining ideas like this will always lead to the destruction of a relationship or a marriage, whether you like it or not. Nobody is an exception to the rule for this one. I've seen many marriages and relationships fall because of this.
I'm of the belief, from being in a relationship, that when you're in a relationship with someone, you gotta see them as the best thing ever. I feel like people have tied suffering with marriage and relationships, in the sense that, yeah, I didn't really pick my type and I'm not really attracted to them, but it's about what they have inside. And I don't agree with that, because you've got to be attracted to your partner. You've got to be in love with your partner's personality. You got to love every part of your partner. And in that same breath, as you're in love with your partner, you have to see them as the best. Because if you don't see them as the best, right, what's going to happen is you're going to naturally not appreciate them. Like I said, that's all it's going to lead to. When we allow small things and normalize small things in our head, it's always going to lead to more bigger problems and more bigger suffering for people out there. You know, we can all act like we are so virtuous to leave that boundary right there where it is, but all of us fall short of sin and X, Y, and Z. And me personally, being in past situations where I always saw that there was someone better than the person I was present day with, that always led to something more dramatic. And that's not me projecting. It's what's happened to loads of other people. A lot of people that I've spoken to have had this mindset. Heck, even people that are married have this mindset that there's someone better than their spouse. And, you know, one thing that was normalized when I was younger, especially hanging around, you know, grown men or grown women, they would sexually talk about other people, saying, oh, this person's fit and X, Y, and Z, and all types of it. And it's like, you're married. You're in a relationship. And I then look back at my old self when I look in that and be like, you were in a relationship. You were with someone, and because you have accepted that they're not the best and you were going to settle an X, Y, and Z, that led to that. I'm of the belief that if you're not with the partner that you see as the best and you're fully head over heels in love with, you shouldn't be in that relationship at all. Not only is that going to be damaging for your partner, it's going to be damaging for you, and if there's kids involved, it's going to be damaged like that as well. Ultimately, when you look at your partner, you should see that there's no one better than your partner. It doesn't just stop at, oh, yeah, there's people better than you, but I choose to love you. That's BS, because you're not appreciating what's in front of you. Appreciating the person that's in front of you is seeing them as the best. For example, when I look at my girlfriend, I see the most beautiful woman ever, the most smartest woman ever, the most loving and patient woman ever. I don't see anyone better than my partner. I know there's nothing better than my partner, because I know that's my partner, and it's the same for us. And what we have is a beautiful appreciation for each other that's only going to keep excelling. And I always advise this to people that I'm with. You know, I have a friend that, congratulations to him, he just had a baby, and the relationship that he's in right now, they get on like a house on fire. They have a baby, they see each other as the best. It's just a beautiful sight to see, you know. And I remember before he was asking me for advice, and like, oh, like, should I just be settling and X, Y, and Z? I said, nah, don't settle. If you're not attracted to this person, but they have a good personality, that's probably not the person you should be with, because you're always going to be looking at other people. Eventually, you will cheat. Eventually, you will leave. Eventually, you will neglect that relationship emotionally. That's always just what's going to happen. So don't let people try and normalize this mindset of there is someone better than your partner, but it's okay. Rather, let's change it to there is no one better than my partner. Now, I'm not talking for situations like domestic violence and all kinds of stuff like that. If you're in a situation where you're in domestic violence and really bad situation, then yes, there's someone at that point when your partner is not being the best version of themselves for you, there is better out there. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about stable, healthy relationships. You don't have to sacrifice attraction for a good intentioned heart. You don't have to sacrifice a good intentioned heart for beauty. You can have both. You can have attraction and a good intention heart. You have no business sacrificing those kind of qualities for. You just have no business. I think we all have to accept that there's a type of person that's out there for us individually, and we should pursue that. We shouldn't pursue with the perfectionist mindset. Do not be in the mindset where it's like they have to be perfect. Be in the mindset that this person is good for me. This person makes me feel whole. This person cares for me. This person loves me, and I'm very attracted to them. You know, let's not look at the superficial things. Let's look at the overarching theme that you want in your relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Just how we see so many normalized sexist marriages, or you know, degrading in marriages, and it starts off with jokes like, oh, they have no money and X, Y, and Z, or like, oh, you know him, he's not the most handsome person, he's no Chris Hemsworth. You know, you've seen that all over Western media where they normalize things like that. Where do you think that stems from? That stems from the fact that they're not attracted to their partner. That stems from the fact that they are not financially okay with their partner and things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? Because they have went for someone who is not motivated to do better, but they're staying because they're kind, or they're not with someone that they're attracted to who takes care of themselves in attraction, to look attractive. That's how where that comes from. These little jabs, it always leads to a more bigger problem. So let's just learn to, when we see our person, we see no one but them. That's how it should be. There should be no normalization of wandering eyes and knowing that, oh yeah, that person's better than our partner, because at that point, with your eyes, you are lustfully looking at someone else. Whether it be financially or whatever it is, you are lustfully looking at someone like, oh yeah, that person is prettier than my wife. That person has more money than my husband. That person is more emotionally there. It leads to a dark road that you do not want to even start with at all. Like he said, yes, there will be people that have more money than your husband. There will be more people that are supermodels, and your wife is not a supermodel. But you then have to ask yourself, what is better? Like, what do you consider as better? Are you going better off of the standards of what society says, that because this person has X amount of money, they are better than your partner, or because this woman is a supermodel or X, Y, Z, she is better than your partner? Like, you have to really define what is better. And for me, and what I've learned for giving advice to other people, the only better is what that person does for you as a person. Does that person in your life make you a better person? That's what the better is. That's what the better should only be. Does the person in your life make you a better person? You feel what I'm saying? And from that understanding that they are better, it doesn't matter if another man makes more money than your man, or a woman is a supermodel and has all these Instagram followers, or this person is good with business, or this person has this talent, X, Y, Z. At that point, it doesn't matter. My better is a woman that cares for me and inspires me to want to be better. And I found that. And for my woman, it's the same thing. And X, Y, and Z. And we are attracted to each other. Those things are very important. You feel me? Just because someone is a supermodel or has a certain type of figure doesn't mean that they are better than your partner. Just because someone has more money doesn't mean they're better than your partner. Those things can be true. There's people with more money out there than me. My woman sees me as the best. And there's people that are supermodels or X, Y, and Z, but I don't see them. They are definitely not better than my woman. You feel me? And that's the mindset that you should mutually have. You both should see each other as the best. All these other things don't define the better. You feel what I'm saying? So I just thought it was very kind of problematic how he said it. Overall, I get what he's trying to say. Marriage is a commitment. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't understand what he's saying. I understand what he's saying, but little off on his take. I didn't really like the things that he was saying. I feel like, it shouldn't be like that at all. And don't let anyone tell you that. He says in the video that you're going to meet someone better than your partner. Anyone who tells you that they don't is telling a lie. And I'm here to tell you he's lying. There's no one better than my woman. And my woman reminds me every day that there's no one better than me. And I've seen it with my friends. I've seen it with my brother. I've seen it with a lot of other people. There is no one better than the one that's for you. I promise you. So don't normalize this. And don't allow people to think that this is how you have to enter marriage and relationships, because this is how people rush into marriage and relationships and get divorced quickly. Do not normalize this mindset. Be calm, be patient, keep working on yourself to be the best person for your partner, and actually God will gift you with the partner that is going to be the best for you, that you're not going to see anyone else. But yeah, that's what it is. Let's not pair suffering with marriage and suffering with relationships. You don't need to suffer. You can be happy. And I'm not saying that there won't be flaws and arguments and X, Y, and Z, but when I mean suffering, I mean all that other stuff. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think what he was saying was proper like fine? Do you guys agree with my take, or do you guys have a different take? I'll be really interested to hear what you guys think in the comments. With that being said, my people, God bless, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.